What is going on, y'all? Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com, coming at you in their AMA Ask Me Anything episode. This one's all about adjusting macros post-surgery. But before we dive into that, let's roll the intro. All right, this question is brought to us from Mathew, and he asks, on keto, how do you adjust your macros while recovering from surgery? Matthew, hopefully your surgery went well if it is you that you are talking about and everything's going good there. When it comes to adjusting macros post-surgery, this is what I would recommend. And this is going to be true regardless of the diet, but also with keto. So if you are post-surgery and you're not able to train as you normally would, you are not going to have as much expenditure as you normally would, in which case many would think it makes sense to reduce your intake to accommodate that decreased activity. And if the primo goal is to minimize fat loss or fat gain, that would be the thing to do. However, that's not what I recommend, and here's why. Obviously, it's going to depend a little bit on your type of surgery, how long you're out of commission, et cetera, et cetera. But if you are out of commission and you are not able to train normally, I personally would say that the most prominent goal should be to preserve as much lean muscle tissue as possible. You don't want to lose muscle tissue post-surgery. And if you drop calories, you'll likely lose more muscle tissue. So it is harder to build muscle than it is to burn fat, all things equal. I would recommend embracing a little bit of fat gain for the sake of preserving more muscle tissue. That's what I personally would recommend. So again, I don't know what your surgery is. I don't know what your specific circumstances are, but if you are not able to train as you normally would, if you're out of commission from the gym, you can't put in the normal activity that you normally are, then I would continue to eat at whatever you've been eating, so your body is not likely going to dip into a deficit and you are not going to lose any muscle tissue, because preserving muscle tissue should be paramount. The best way to preserve muscle tissue is to use the muscles. If you can't use the muscles, the single next best thing is to make sure you're not eating at a deficit. And if you drop your intake and you are eating at a deficit, you're going to lose some muscle tissue. So all that to say, I would not really recommend cutting macros. Now, as far as keto is concerned, ketones are very anti-catabolic, and I think keto as a whole and being fat adapted bodes well for preserving lean tissue. So if you are fat adapted and you have a surgery, I think you're going to be more likely to preserve that tissue, calories equated for, than if you would, say, not be fat adapted and your body become more catabolic more quickly. Because if you are fat adapted, your body has more calories to tap into for energy from the fat on your body. If you are not yet fat adapted, you have to go through that whole adaptation process. That can be a little bit lengthy, and your body's going to deplete what stored glucose you have relatively quickly, and then maybe more likely to turn to lean tissue for energy through gluconeogenesis. That is going to be slowed down a bit if you are already fat adapted. So being fat adapted is good. Would not dip into a deficit. I would stay at least a maintenance. You don't have to be in a significant surplus. There's no need to be in a surplus if you're not able to train hard, but certainly don't go into a deficit. That would be my recommendations. Again, I hope you recover quickly, Matthew, and all is well there and you're able to get back into the gym and train hard and heavy in the very near future. Hopefully that does y'all well when it comes to your surgery questions and as it pertains to macros. For those of you that do not know, with these AMA Ask Me Anything videos, if you submit me a question via the Google form in the description below, and I use your question, I will send you some free keto bricks of your choosing. Matthew, you requested some peanut butter bricks, so I've got those headed your way. Thank you so much for the question, and thank y'all for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.